I saw them. Through the large panoramic window of our luxurious house, bought with my bonuses, my blood and sleepless nights. She, my Emma, the one who swore eternal fidelity under the flickering candles at our Tuscan wedding, was pressed against the chest of this Daniel. His hands slithered over her back like snakes, and her laugh, that very same gentle and playful laugh that used to be mine alone, rang out in the evening silence, hitting me in the face like a slap. At that moment, standing in the shadow of the giant maple tree I planted for our first anniversary, something inside me died, cooled, hardened, and in place of the fiery pain came an icy, crystal-clear resolve. She wanted to play. She wanted to betray everything we'd built. Fine, but I would be setting the rules now, and this game wouldn't end at the first scream, but at utter annihilation. This wasn't an impulse, it was a meticulous, micro-calibrated plan of revenge, cold and merciless as a surgeon's scalpel. I knew Emma, know her. She lived in her perfect little world, successful husband, me, luxurious house, mine, status, built on my achievements, the admiration of her friends whom she despised behind their backs. She thought herself smarter than everyone, craftier, untouchable. She thought I was a blind workaholic, too buried in my projects to notice her flirting, her sudden girls' nights, her new, overly expensive lingerie I never saw her wear. Mistake? A colossal mistake? The first days after the revelation, I behaved perfectly. Not a tear, not a reproach. On the contrary, I became more attentive, more affectionate, more busy. I bought her those very diamond earrings she'd been hinting at for months. "Just because you're my queen, Emmy," I said, kissing the top of her head, feeling her tense with surprise. I knew it confused her. Where was the scene, the hysterics, her drama? She needed that, like a drug. Without it, her little affair lost half its thrill. I denied her that high. Meanwhile, my machinery began its quiet work. I didn't hire a detective, too cliché, too many traces. I became the detective myself. My profession, big data analytics, suddenly found a new, deeply personal application. One, finances. Our joint account was practically her personal credit card. I'd always seen it as a sign of trust and love. Idiot. Now carefully, through shell companies and offshore accounts, I began siphoning out my money. Not all at once, but drip by drip. Transfers for investments, supporting friends' startups, the consultancy fees, sums large enough to eventually drain the account, but small enough not to immediately raise red flags with the bank or her. Simultaneously, I found all her hidden accounts. Oh yes, they existed, small, but there. Savings from gifts, selling old things, and I suspected gifts from dear Daniel. I gained access. The keys to her digital fortress became mine. 2. Daniel. This successful gallery owner. His veneer was thinner than tissue paper. A couple of deep dives into open databases, cross-referencing with old contacts, and I uncovered his gallery hanging by a thread. Overdue loans, lawsuits from artists, suspicions of money laundering, and something else. Rather juicy. His marriage wasn't as dissolved as he told Emma. His wife Sarah wasn't just alive, but actively interested in his extracurricular activities. I found her, anonymously, through a chain of proxy addresses, attached proof, photos of him and Emma, taken by my hidden cameras. Yes, I installed them in the living room, in the bedroom, in the car, everywhere. Not explicit, but the ones showing their closeness, their laughter, their intimacy, and the address of his gallery and his wife's address. I didn't ask for anything, just provided the facts. Mentioned copies existed with me. I knew Sarah's character from her online footprint. She wasn't the type to swallow betrayal silently. 3. Her circle. Emma adored being queen of her little social scene. Her friends envied her. I decided to turn that envy into a weapon. Through a fake social media profile created long before any of this, I always believed in digital hygiene, I began carefully leaking information, not about the affair immediately. First, little things. That Emma gossiped about friend A, absolute truth. I had recordings of her home phone conversations. That she thought friend B was stupid and tacky, also true, I'd overheard. Tiny drops of poison, enough to sow distrust. And then an anonymous message to their group chat, a scan of a receipt from a very expensive lingerie boutique. Dated for a day, I was on a business trip. With a note, "Thank you for a wonderful evening, my angel." Dunno, its authenticity was undeniable. I'd bought the item myself using her card, knowing she didn't check SMS alerts. The chaos in their chat was epic. Emma denied it, got angry, but the shadow fell. Her royal throne wobbled. 4. The house, our love nest. I began preparing it for a change of ownership. Through a proxy, I contacted a real estate agent, explained the situation. Impending quick divorce, need to sell fast and quiet. The house was listed below market value. Showings started during the rare hours Emma was home, supposedly for condition assessment before renovations. The agent was in on the game. She saw strangers walking through her house, examining her things, discussing remodeling her kitchen. To her confused questions, I feigned surprise. "Oh, we talked about this, darling. You forgot? Needed for valuation before building the pool winter garden, whatever? Gaslighting? Perhaps, but it worked. She began doubting herself, her memory, reality itself. The climax came on No, my wedding anniversary. I arranged dinner at the very restaurant where I'd proposed. I was impeccable. Suit, flowers, blood-red roses, her favorite, a gift, a tiny box. "Emmy," I said, looking her straight in the eyes where I saw a mixture of expectation, guilt, and foolish hope. "These years have been unforgettable, and I've prepared something special." I turned on the projector. On the restaurant wall, against a romantic Tuscan backdrop, our wedding photos didn't appear. They appeared. High quality, sharp. Emma and Daniel kissing in our garage, embracing outside his gallery, entering the Ritz Hotel together a week ago when I was supposedly in Chicago. Frame, frame, frame. A highlight reel of their love. No sound, just a silent movie of betrayal in the most romantic spot in town. Her face turned chalk white. She trembled. "Alex, this isn't?" She choked. "Shh, darling," I smiled. A cold, lifeless smile. "That's just the start of the surprise." I opened the box. No jewels lay inside. There were printouts. "Here are the divorce papers. You will sign them here and now, in the presence of my lawyer?" I nodded towards the bar, where my lawyer indeed sat. "Terms are simple. You walk away with nothing. No house, no money, no car. Only your personal belongings. Our joint accounts, alas, are nearly empty. Your personal savings," I paused, savoring her horror, "are also zeroed out. Minor technical glitches." "You can't," she hissed, trying to stand. But her legs wouldn't obey. "Oh, I can. And I did. Look," I pointed at the screen. Now it showed screenshots of empty bank accounts bearing her name. "And remember Daniel, his lovely gallery, and his equally lovely wife, Sarah?" The screen changed to a photo of Sarah, staring straight into the camera with an icy expression, alongside a picture of Daniel's gallery window, smashed and splattered with red paint. "Seems he has other problems now, serious ones, and your support won't be needed anymore, just as he won't be needing you." I slid the documents and a pen towards her. "Sign, Emma. Vanish from my life before I decide to tell your entire friendly circle exactly who you owe that expensive necklace you wore last Thursday, or where you spent last weekend when your mother thought you were with her. I have proof. Plenty of it. For every taste." She cried, hysterically, abjectly. She pleaded, tried to recall our love. But in my chest was only emptiness and cold satisfaction. I looked at her, this ruined doll, the former queen of her cardboard castle, and felt, nothing. Absolutely nothing, except a quiet whisper, "Check and mate." She signed, with a trembling hand. Too terrified, too broken, to think. The lawyer took the papers. I stood up. "Leave the house keys on the table. Your things are already packed and waiting by the door. A taxi is called. Goodbye, Emma." I walked out of the restaurant without looking back. The night air carried the scent of the city and freedom. I didn't feel triumph in the usual sense. There was no elation, there was calm, the calm after a long, exhausting battle, won not with brute force, but with the power of intellect, patience, and absolute, ruthless knowledge of my enemy. I stripped her of everything she held dear: money, status, lover, reputation, the illusion of control, and most importantly, the feeling of superiority over me. I turned her into nothing within her own world. She tried calling, texting, threatening, but her voice on the phone was a pathetic squeak. Her threats, empty noise. She had no leverage, no money for a good lawyer, no support from friends. Now they knew her true self. Daniel, mired in his own scandals, disowned her. She dissolved like smoke. The last I heard, she'd moved somewhere to the outskirts, to some distant relative. From queen to pariah. Revenge isn't a hot knife. It's an icy needle. It slips in unnoticed, slowly reaches the very heart and freezes it from within. I didn't destroy her physically. I destroyed her universe, brick by brick, and when the walls crumbled, only a pitiful shadow of the woman who thought she could spit on my love and loyalty with impunity remained under the rubble. I taught her a lesson, the most expensive lesson of her life, and she paid for it with everything she owned. And what she didn't own, her self-respect. And me, I survived, purged by the fire of hatred and the ice of calculation. I regret not a single step, not a single minute spent planning. She chose war. I simply ended it, without warning, without mercy, without a chance of escape. And you know the cruelest irony? That house now, our former house, feels quiet, peaceful. There's no more pretense, no more false kisses, no more scent of her perfume mixed with the smell of another man's touch. I threw out everything that reminded me of her, repainted the walls, replaced the furniture, got a new dog. Now it's my world. My clean, cold, and utterly honest world. Did she think she broke me? She was wrong. She only showed me what I'm capable of. And now I know betrayal is the point of no return. And revenge, it's not just a sweet word. It's an art, and I became its consummate master. She was my first masterpiece, but not the last. The world is cruel, friends, and if you play with fire, be prepared to burn to ashes. I'm Alex, and this was my story. Don't judge too harshly, or better yet, don't give anyone a reason to.